Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your weekly general tarot scope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for everyone. They are for the general energies, trends and themes for the week ahead. All of this infused by my intuitive message. With that said, these are the cards I'll be using for us today. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, like peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help us all on our path to our highest vibrational good. So, excuse me, sorry. This week, the intuitive message was, what I actually saw was a lake thawing out, right? And the message or the words that I heard in my head were, the ice thaws out now and new life begins, right? So in some way, shape or form for all of us, in some regard, as we come into Gemini season, well, not come into, but you know what I mean, as we are in Gemini season now, we are effectively about to start experiencing or feeling new life happen, right? The ice is thawing out, which I actually think is wonderful. So for this, we've got the gate 30 and holding. And the message behind this card is to really hold on to your dreams, your hopes, your wishes, and your goals. This is about, that's why the eagle, right? I don't know if you saw, I saw just recently a picture that just absolutely blew my freaking mind. It's a man's fist like this, and it says, how big do you think an eagle's talons are? There's a man's fist, and it's like literally like this. It takes up like most of his thing. Eagles are huge. I knew they were big, but it wasn't until I saw that I was like, because you know, you hear stories of like people's children, like toddlers and stuff, being carried away by eagles, and I always used to roll my eyes at that, like, yeah, all right. And then when I saw that, like, I knew they were big, right? And you hear like even dogs and cats, you hear of them like being literally whisked away. And I was always a bit like, okay, Jan, sure, Jan. I was a bit like skeptical. And then when I saw that picture just recently, it really blew my fucking mind. I was like, okay, I understand now how people's children and animals are being carried off by eagles. They are huge. Sidebar over, sorry, I just had to take a moment to appreciate. But they are known for an incredible grip. And they are known for that ability to transcend. It's like the king of the sky, right? It's the eagle is the lion of the jungle, right? It's the king of the skies. It doesn't get any greater than this bird, right? And this, when you think about this as the key to the weak energy in regards to the ice thawing out and new life sort of emerging, this is about holding on to whatever it is that you took into the deep of winter with you. Remember, Gemini is a mutable sign, so spring is now coming to an end and we're about to emerge into summer. When whatever you took into the winter, that you held on to, that you wished for, that you worked for, that you prayed for, that you did all the things for, with and around, this basically says you hold on to that now, right? This week, you are going to see a glimpse or a glimmer of whatever it is that you worked for, that you pushed for, that you strived for, that you strained for. You're going to start to see the sproutlings, right? Maybe it's not fully formed, maybe it's not totally ready, but you start to see the glimmer. And this holding card is basically saying to you, no matter how hard or cold winter was, no matter what you had to go through in order to carry this hope, wish, goal or dream on to see it through to completion or into tangibility, it's coming, right? So you hold on to it this week. You do not let it go, no matter what happens, okay? So, that's our destiny energy. For our direction cards, we have the Knight of Cups. Assistance will come, right? There's offers, there's opportunities, but assistance and support will find its way to us. You've got this with the Eight of Wands. A teacher or a mentor will show up to assist you with this in some regard. Love this, by the way. And the Four of Wands. So for those of you that let's say this revolves around a property, a mortgage, buying some form of land. Maybe for some of you, you're buying a venue. Like, especially for those of you that are thinking about buying pubs or bars or clubs or whatever. Yes, okay, the economic climate is a bit crazy, and maybe it's not the I don't want to say smartest because that sounds too doubtful. Maybe it's not the, maybe it's not widely accepted that you should be doing this thing, but whatever you are striving for, even if it isn't practical, there is support here, right? These cards tell me that this week, excuse me, no matter how impractical whatever it is that you are wanting, that you're going for, that you're striving for, no matter how impractical it might be, you have support, you have assistance, and you will have guidance throughout this process. That Eight of Wands with the Four of Wands, that's a celebration, baby, right? This is some kind of big event. Now, for some of you this week, you will literally be celebrating an engagement. Do you know what's really interesting to me as well is because of the holding card and the other message, it's like this engagement has been on hold for some time. This could be, maybe one of them wasn't in the country. Maybe one of them has been sick. Maybe, whatever the hold up or the delay has been in this engagement. And you'll know if I'm talking about you or if I'm talking about a family member or a friend or whatever. If they have been waiting to propose and there's been all these things that have been in the way of it, it will go ahead this week and it will be all the sweeter for the waiting. All right. So love, love, love that. Now, like I said, whatever your purchase, whatever your plan, whatever the case might be, no matter how impractical, there is help, there is support on the wider world stage. I think this week we're going to see a marked rise in the hospitality industry, right? There's going to be some kind of movement. There's going to be some kind of, boost or boom there. Whether it lasts or not, I can't be 100% sure, obviously, but for now, at least, things are looking decent. For our, that's our destiny cards. These are our direction cards. For our insight cards, we've got the death card. All right, so knowing what to let go of and when. With the judgment card, okay, so a message from an ancestor with the Nine of Swords. At the moment, so Tarot's giving you a very clear message here, right, in terms of the insight cards. This week, we are all likely to face a moment where we are unsure about which way to go, and the message will come from a loved one in spirit, right? It's not to say that everybody's suddenly going to become a medium, but the death card with the judgment card is a very specific combination. It doesn't show up very often. And you've got this with the Nine of Swords. For those of you that have elderly parents, family, etc., especially ones that have had things like hard or awful sort of chronic illness situations, this week may very well be a week where they pass, and I'm really sorry to say that, and I hope I'm wrong, but this won't be a moment of sort of, yes, it's always heartbreaking, but sometimes it's liberating. When you see someone who's in the winter of their lives that's been going through a lot of pain and they've lost their dignity, right? They're having to have somebody change them or whatever. If that person was very proud in life, it can be really, really hard for them to go through that process. At that point of their lives as well, they're usually not worried about, dying or passing away. They just, it's like, I wish I had my independence back, or I wish I wasn't so, I want my dignity. Anyway, I digress out of this. You will have a dream, a thought, an impression. Maybe you'll hear. So every year, if you've been with me long enough, you'll have seen this on my Instagram. Sometimes I post it on the YouTube community, but every year around September, late August, early to mid-September, it's usually at the beginning of September, I will buy all the fruit and I will soak it in all of the alcohols and stuff that it needs to, and then I will leave that to steep. I maybe stir it once in the 4 months, and then just before Christmas I take that fruit out to use it in the Christmas cake or the festive cake, because I don't really do Christmas per se. And that, to me, whenever I make that cake, as soon as I start putting the fruit and stuff in the thing, it's like my nan, not this nanny, my dad's mum, it's like she's right there with me, and I can hear her saying, you want to add just a little dash of this, and you want to put some of this? Right, like I can literally hear her there, and it lifts my spirits because I know that she's alive in that way. This week, you may have a moment where you are completely unsure. Maybe you're turned around, right? You've got all this wonderful stuff going on. Maybe there's a glitch or a hitch of some sort that comes up. And at that moment that you start to panic, or you feel like, oh, you will either have a dream, a thought, or a feeling, or you might just, and the reason I gave you that story is because you might hear that loved one who has passed in your ear saying, this is what you need to do. And the truth be told, I don't think I am a medium. I do think I'm highly sensitive. I always swore that it was a gift that I didn't have until about 7 to 8 years ago. Up until then, I'd only ever dreamt of people that had passed, but about 7 or 8 years ago, something happened, and lots of things happened. But since then, it's like they kind of tune into me and I can hear them, right? Like it's like they're having a full-on conversation. I'll never forget the night just recently that this nanny passed. I could hear a full-blown conversation. I mean, like a full-blown conversation. And I kept saying to my sister, can you not hear that? Like, can you not hear? There's two people talking in the room. And she was swear blind. Raf, there is nobody else here. It's you, me, and Nan. Like, she couldn't hear it. But I tell you as clear as day, I could hear two people having a conversation. And at first I thought maybe someone left the TV on upstairs or whatever. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. House quiet as a mouse. Crazy. Anyway, I give you all of these stories to kind of show you that sometimes if you're open to it, even if you're not a medium, even if you don't consider yourself psychic, which we all are to a degree, you might have a moment this week where if you feel stuck about something, the answer will come from a loved one who has passed. Just listen for it, right? And even if it doesn't come immediately, whoever comes to your mind first, if you find you're like, shit, I'm stuck, say that person's name. Just say, please give me some guidance right now, and I guarantee you they will come through for you, right? They never really leave us. I can promise you that. They never really leave us. Anyway, before this becomes a really weird long video, I will wrap it up by saying, the other thing with the death card and the judgment card, this could be the end to a very long process. So if you've had like a legal matter or stuff like that going on, the good news or the reason to celebrate that finds you, that comes from a distance, will be that some hard, challenging, potentially even legal situation or matter will come to a conclusion. Hold to your guns, right? You're at the final stages of whatever it is that you need to complete, and I wish you all of the luck and the best in the world. I can't wait to hear what it is for you guys. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.